The great thinker Will Durant, a man who dedicated his life to understanding the rise and fall of civilizations, once said, "A great civilization is not conquered from without, until it has destroyed itself from within." It's a powerful statement, a warning echoed throughout history. Empires are far more than just armies marching across a map or the sheer amount of territory they control. They're complex tapestries held together by shared ideas, a common spirit, and a collective vision. Without these, even the mightiest empire is vulnerable. Today we'll embark on a comparative journey, exploring two giants of history, the Mongol Empire, a force of nature that swept across continents, and the Ottoman Empire, a dynasty that shaped the world for over 6 centuries. The Mongols were a whirlwind, a storm of conquest nomadic warriors led by the legendary Genghis Khan, a military genius who forged an empire from the steppes, building the largest contiguous land empire in history with unmatched speed and ferocity. The Ottomans, in contrast, present a different picture. We're like a mighty oak, growing steadily, expanding their influence gradually over decades and centuries, deeply rooted in their culture and traditions, and enduring for centuries as a major power. So what would happen if these two colossal forces met on the battlefield? Who would win in a clash between these titans? The answer isn't as simple as looking at numbers or weapons. It's not just about brute force. To truly understand their strengths and weaknesses, and to predict the outcome of such a hypothetical clash, we must look at their leaders, the structure of their armies, their systems of governance, and the lasting legacies they left behind. So, let's journey into the heart of what it truly means to build something that lasts, and what ultimately determines the fate of empires. The Mongol Empire, a name that still echoes through the ages, began with Temujin, better known as Genghis Khan, a figure of immense historical significance. He united the disparate Mongol tribes, forging them into a single, unstoppable force that would sweep across continents, leaving an indelible mark on the world. Their rise was meteoric, their impact profound. Their cavalry, the backbone of their military might, was trained rigorously from childhood. These warriors moved with unmatched speed and precision, a whirlwind of hooves and arrows that overwhelmed their adversaries. Their mobility was key to their success. They were masters of deception, using tactics like feigned retreats to lure enemies into traps and outsmart them on the battlefield. This strategic brilliance often turned the tide of battles. The Mongols' power wasn't just in their horsemanship, but also in their unity, unwavering discipline, and innovative military strategies that were ahead of their time. They were a force to be reckoned with. But they weren't just conquerors, their influence extended beyond the battlefield. They established the Pax Mongolica, a period of relative peace and stability that made the Silk Road safer for merchants and travelers, connecting east and west in unprecedented ways. Trade flourished under their rule. This era fostered the spread of inventions, ideas, and cultural exchange across continents, enriching societies and accelerating progress. Knowledge transcended borders. The Mongols maintained control through a system of fear and tribute, demanding loyalty and resources from the lands they conquered. This ensured a steady flow of wealth into the empire. They were generally tolerant of different religions, allowing people to practice their faiths as long as taxes were paid and their authority was respected. This pragmatic approach helped maintain order within their diverse empire. However, any form of resistance was met with swift and brutal consequences, serving as a deterrent to rebellion. Their reputation for ruthlessness preceded them. Their vast empire relied heavily on the Yam messenger system, an efficient network of relay stations that facilitated communication across vast distances. This allowed them to maintain control and coordinate their forces effectively, but its sheer size, stretching from Asia to Europe, ultimately made it fragile and difficult to govern effectively. The seeds of its decline were sown within its own immensity. After the deaths of their great leaders, internal power struggles and succession disputes led to the empire fracturing into smaller, independent khanates. The once unified force began to dissipate. The Mongols undeniably changed the world, leaving a lasting impact on trade, culture, and warfare, but their era of unity was relatively short-lived. Their influence, however, continues to be felt today. Their legacy remains, a brief, brilliant storm of conquest and cultural exchange that reshaped the course of history, leaving behind a world forever transformed. The Ottoman Empire grew slowly, brick by brick, from a small Anatolian state. They absorbed and adapted from neighbors, building a flexible foundation. Their elite janissaries, taken young, trained for life, formed Europe's first modern standing army, armed with firearms and cannons. The Ottomans excelled at administration, creating a detailed bureaucracy and legal system that blended Islamic and secular law. This structure held together a diverse population for centuries. Stability fueled a golden age of culture, science and art, seen in Istanbul's architecture and vibrant society. Unlike the Mongols, the Ottomans built for endurance, not just conquest. Their empire became a fortress of culture and power, lasting over 600 years. Every empire, throughout the vast expanse of history, has a defining leader, a figure whose vision, ambition, and actions indelibly shape its course. These leaders leave behind legacies that echo through the ages. Genghis Khan, the Mongol unifier, a name synonymous with conquest and empire building, rose from nothing, from humble beginnings, to command a continent, forging the largest contiguous land empire in history. He did so by promoting talent over birth, recognizing potential in the most unexpected places, and forging a brotherhood of warriors bound by loyalty and a shared destiny. His code, the Yasa, brought order and discipline to a diverse and sprawling realm, while his military strategies relied on speed, surprise, overwhelming force, and psychological warfare, instilling fear in his enemies and shattering their will to resist. Genghis Khan's leadership was raw, direct, and transformative, a force of nature that reshaped the political landscape of Asia. Suleiman the Magnificent, in stark contrast, led the Ottomans at their peak, presiding over a golden age of prosperity and cultural flourishing. He was an architect of law, culture, and military might, a true Renaissance man who left an indelible mark on his empire. Known as the lawgiver or kanuni, he unified the empire's legal system, codifying laws and expanding its reach through strategic conquests and alliances. Suleiman balanced conquest with administration, ensuring that newly acquired territories were integrated into the empire's sophisticated bureaucratic system. He oversaw both battlefield victories, expanding the empire's borders, and cultural achievements, fostering a vibrant intellectual and artistic environment. His leadership was institutional, focused on building lasting structures and systems of governance, refining and perfecting a powerful state, ensuring its stability and prosperity for generations to come. Genghis built through force and innovation, tearing down old orders and forging a new world through military might. Suleiman, through structure and vision, consolidating power and creating a sophisticated empire that would endure for centuries. Both left legacies that shaped the world, leaving behind empires that continue to fascinate and inspire awe, but in very different ways, reflecting their distinct personalities and approaches to leadership. One was a storm, a whirlwind of conquest that swept across Asia; the other, a master builder, carefully constructing a magnificent empire brick by brick. Their contrasting styles defined their empire's destinies, shaping the course of history in profound and lasting ways. Governing an empire is as crucial as winning battles. The Mongols ruled pragmatically, tolerant of religions and customs if tribute was paid, but ruthless against resistance. Their Yam postal system enabled rapid communication, but their rule depended on strong central leadership. When that faltered, the empire splintered. The Ottomans, meanwhile, built a complex bureaucracy and the millet system, granting religious communities autonomy under the Sultan's oversight. Their administration blended religious and secular law, investing in infrastructure to unify their realm. The Ottomans' hands-on governance and adaptability allowed their empire to endure for centuries. The Mongols ruled by force, the Ottomans by integration and structure. Imagine a showdown between these empires on an open plain. The Mongols, masters of cavalry and archery, would unleash speed and tactical deception. The Ottomans, with janissaries and artillery, would counter with disciplined firepower and heavy cavalry. The real difference, technology and time. The Mongols thrived in the age of the bow, the Ottomans in the age of gunpowder. Cannons and muskets would shatter Mongol charges, while janissaries held firm. The Ottomans' combined arms and advanced weaponry would likely decide the battle. The Mongol storm would break against Ottoman firepower. In a direct clash, centuries of innovation give the Ottomans the edge. The fortress outlasts the whirlwind. The true victory, when we study history, lies in the profound lessons these empires offer to us. The Mongols, with their vast reach, reshaped Eurasia, connecting disparate worlds and accelerating the pace of change. Their remarkable story is fundamentally one of unity, speed, and profound transformation. The Ottomans, in contrast, show the enduring power of endurance, constant adaptation, and the importance of strong institutions. They skillfully built a society that thrived and prospered for generations. Both of these empires significantly shaped our modern world, one acting as a catalyst for change, the other as a steadfast pillar. Their enduring legacies continue to challenge us. What lasting legacy will we build for the future?